Alright, today we are going to be making some catapults. Check these out. So here I've got some basic materials that I used, 3 different catapults that I made. One I made out of some clothespins, some pencils, and a spoon, rubber band, and a lot of tape. I tried to use some hot glue, but wasn't as successful. Another type that I made was actually made out of an old Cheez-It box. Still the same type of design, but I just used tape, a Cheez-It box, and some spoons. So that's another design. And for the third design, I kind of had some fun here. I got my Vex Robotics pieces out, and I actually made a catapult out of robotics pieces to kind of mimic that design. So let's check out how well these 3 show. Catapults are really interesting. They go all the way back to 399 BC, when the first catapult, known as the ballista, was actually more like a giant crossbow. They used it to basically shoot giant projectiles, and they were really, really accurate, but they didn't have much power. The second, known as the mangonel, made by the Greeks and then later perfected by the Romans, it was actually one of the most common ones that you see. In fact, the mangonel is the model that I actually chose to create here, and it's actually the one I'm going to show you how to do in this video. The third type of catapult is known as the trebuchet. Probably saying that wrong.
Trebuchet. Trebuchet.
But it was actually the most advanced catapult known at that time during the medieval. It was the most feared medieval catapult. It was the most powerful. I'm not going to be making one of those today, but you can actually find one of those in the slideshow I shared with you guys in Google Classroom, done by Mythbusters. But for me today, we're going to be making the mangonel example, and I'm going to show you how to make it using some very basic supplies around your house that you might be able to find. So for most of this project, we stuck to the engineering design process, where we explored catapults and kind of understood a little bit more about them to figure out which catapult I could actually build with household materials. Now I started next with actually getting into the design of it and actually exploring some more to brainstorm some ideas, because that's what I really needed to do. And so I took out my notebook and I drew some pictures and some designs of the mangonel to kind of get a better idea of what I could use, and looked around my house and I found quite a few things that would actually work pretty well. One of those things were Cheez-It boxes. Those of you that know me, I love Cheez-Its. How to build a mangonel catapult and launch it at your house and challenge you to make your own and make it even possibly better than mine. So here we go. So I'm going to get ready to make our mangonel model using just purely a Cheez-It box. I've taken the Cheez-It box and actually cut off all the panels, which will make my work a little bit easier. I've got 4 spoons. I probably only will need 3, but I went ahead and got 4. I got tape, and I went ahead and pre-tore my tape because I'm going to use a ton of tape in this process to make this. And of course, my last thing is Cheez-Its, because it's good to eat while you work. is just my base, and my base isn't perfect. I'm not searching for perfection. Just being a prototype for me to kind of go out and test. I'm in that model making phase of the design process. So what I just did here was I put on this piece, and this piece is really helpful. It should be something that moves back and forth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my spoon to it, and this will actually be the part that launches my projectile. That is what I will use. Right now I'm going to go ahead and put back together this base, build up my sides, and then you will see the finished product here in just a moment. So here's what my finished product looked like. I chose not to do the video of it because it would have taken quite a bit of time. So I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like. Over here I took some spoons and I cut the tops of the spoons off. And I taped those here to build support. The part I had on my back support earlier, I went ahead and moved that up to the front so that way I had a way of supporting it here. I have my rubber band. All I did was I just took it and kind of looped it behind it. Nothing special, but it allows me to give it some spring back, and the really good ones will go way back here. Mine won't go back that far. But the idea is that you put your projectile, which in this case is a half sheet of paper being crumpled up, and you hold it down, and once you get it ready to go, you no worries, as you can see, he's okay. Thanks for watching. Good luck building your own. We're turning the lights here out at the Gilliam house, and we are out. I'm out of Cheez-Its too. Okay, 5th graders that stuck around long enough to watch that video, if you want to try this at home and post in Flipgrid, you will receive one of these. If you know what these are, I will send one out to you myself to make sure it gets delivered to you as your prize for taking on the Catapult Challenge. Good luck.